My name is Tamara Wilder, and I am a paleotechnologist. And we are here today to share with you about what I call a day in the life of a hunter-gatherer. So we're going to be exploring a whole bunch of different things during the course of the day about how hunter-gatherer people live. We're going back to the oldest technologies, figuring out how to use your hands to make things. So to make the divot, you twist the end just a few times with the sideways twisting motion, and that makes a nice little divot. So you're going to be making a bead with the soapstone, and in order to make a bead out of something, what's the first thing we need to do? Yes?
You need to drill it.
So your sandstone is your abrasive stone. That's your sander, that's your grinder.
Like all these rocks over here, if you touch it again, you can pick them up.
Oh, that's so cool.
Throw them around, don't throw them back up, just be careful.
Oh, I should put some indents on this one. That'd be cool. Just experiment.
Oh my god. So I'm just like, oh, I'm just gonna untie it. Fun because you're working with a team.
When you buy pine nuts in the store, they're like $25 a pound.
Let's take a shoe the nut.
Once you grind off both sides of your nut, you're going to take your little bamboo stick and you're going to poke out the nut meat that's on the inside.
Actually thinking about if you were an early human and this was your job, right?
Man, that would be awful.
This was your whole job, to grind these nuts so that you could get the meat out.
You have a chance to come up and look at the table right now, a few students at a time. Touch and feel the things on the table, and then in the back of your notebook you can make notes about what's on the table.
Right, so 16 I think is the pine nut beads, and then 26 is the rope.
Okay, so you need to make string and you need to make string,
What
right?
do we
So
write?
if you two want to grab the strings, you can
that,
choose whichever one you
stood out
want,
to you,
whichever
any
color,
you
and get up and come on
Our
up.
earliest ancestors were the first scientists. And string is one of the oldest tools that our earliest ancestors figured out a really long time ago. Store it in a fiber that's strong enough to hold the energy itself to make this thing called string. Everybody on the earth used to know how to make a piece of string. Feel all that energy binding in there, storing, because this twist is the result of those twists. So that's why you have to wait until this twist happens. Now you can start twisting towards me, and that's going to start spinning and wrapping them around each other, right? Roll your fingers. Beautiful. Very nice. That's called the reverse wrap twist. You all want to bring your hands closer to keep the Y shape. Pull evenly. And the energy should be flowing that direction, not out. So bring your hands even closer in. Keep that Y shape all the way until the very end. And then we're there. And then you're going to tie your overhand knot. Take it apart if you want to fix it later or add more beads, is you do a double overhand, so make them parallel, bring them around and just tie an overhand knot with both strings. And that's a really easy knot to put on, it won't fall apart, and it's really easy to take apart by just pushing it apart. And then you can play around with whatever kinds of knots that you want to make this happen. We are making a really cool necklace. This card shows all the different stepping stones or building blocks on the way to making a rope. You're spinning to the right, so learn how to throw your energy, okay? Good job. Practice a little bit.
Yep. That way.
We're going to take all three of these. And then we're walking this way. And this is 2 kinds of juke and 1 kind of hemp.
I know we did this earlier, but then it's like, this is like 10 times bigger. Yeah. I'm putting all my weight down. Like, it's so weird.
Good job. so you guys start spinning towards the right this way. Good job. Good job. Spin as fast as you can.
Keep spinning.
Okay, now somebody comes down here and takes over the water skier. We shift everybody down one jump. Take over the water skier.
Then I take over your
Yeah,
jump.
exactly. Yeah, you're going to go down over there. And now we're going to freeze for 1 minute.
Freeze.
We're at the midway point, so we have enough energy here, so you guys need to not spin so fast. So slide your handles out of your spinner and put your handle on the ground, and then just hold the spinner and make it go straight out from the rope, and then just twist it by hand now, okay? Yeah, so you're just pushing up on the antler. You see how it's making the triangles happen? It's those two angles, those 3 strings and 3 triangles that makes this work. And all we're doing is guiding, right? We're making that happen.
Geometry.
Excellent, excellent. So we keep the triangle going. Now we can take the antler away. You got to be on your knees. So you guys have to make that 3-sided triangle happen, right? So lower on this one. Good job. Do you see how it's exactly 3 of the strings that we did? Lower on your hand. This one higher. Yeah. You see how it's 3? It's 1, 2, 3 triangle. Exactly what we were doing string making. Look at the rope locks together and the energy gets bound in there and it doesn't come apart. But now we're going to tie an overhand knot. Saw back and forth.
You want to be in it?
Okay, on this side. The way these bones work is that they've got 4 ways that they usually land. And you roll, and you have 3 rolls to get them all the same. And I got the horse on the 3rd roll. So that means I got what I call a Yahtzee. So
Nice.
You got both. That's right. Woohoo! Well done.
Yeah, right?
this is a very ancient tool. It's one of the most modern of the bow style tools because it is a bow, a small little bow, but it's being put onto a handle with a lever, and that's what makes it a crossbow. And in ancient China, they figured out how to do this, and it was a very important new development.
Okay. How do you make the rabbit? So you set your string first.
In
One
the knot.
finger on each. Yep. Good. On either side.
In the knot.
Yes, in the notch. Now it's loaded. Well, it's not loaded, but it's set. So don't point it at anything but the target or the ground. Don't point it all the way to the back so it's not touching the string, but right there. Perfect. And then aim. Oh yeah, how fire. You did nice. Good.
And now we're going to try to make the fire. You can smell that smoke coming. So the smoke is telling us that it's happening. We can see the ember starting to form. And then we just have to see smoke coming from the pile of powder. And that will tell us that we have ignition.
Oh my gosh, that smells so good.
And now that powder ignited. And while I'm resting, this little ember is spreading through all of that powder. And I can lift it into my tinder bundle and I slide it together. I'm feeding it fuel, I'm feeding it oxygen. I'm holding it very carefully. There we go. That's why you don't want to do this without knowing what you're doing, okay? We have our fire. Really quick, before you say goodbye, would you please give a big thank you to your parents that were here and your teacher? Give them a big round of applause for making this happen.